everything that we do, the end result of it should be inner satisfaction, inner peace, and inner happiness. Talk to yourself, find out how you are going, find out what you are good at, and just drive towards that vision which you will create for yourself. Our Vedic mantras have got tremendous power, and I have seen that power, that vibrational energy in my school when we collectively chant the Vedic mantras. And every child should follow a few mantras that will keep you very calm and balanced. And keep meditating. Meditation is magic. It works. I have seen it work beautifully with children. And if my girls can do it at MIS, so can you.
Mussoorie International School, located in the pristine hills of Mussoorie in India. Since 1984, this school has been home to many girls from over 27 countries. It has enriched their lives with traditional values as well as with modern outlook. This cultural heritage of the former and the technological and the creative advances of the later. Today we are fortunate to have with us Mrs. Shalu Babbar, Principal, Mussoorie International School. So welcome, ma'am.
Namaste. Thank you, ma'am.
So, ma'am, we would like to know a little bit more about your school. We have heard a lot about your school. So, Mussoorie International School has a strong emphasis on holistic development. So, ma'am, how would you define the spiritual philosophy that underpins the school's vision, and why is it especially relevant for younger learners today?
A very beautiful question, Ruchi ji. Thank you so much. Before I answer your question, I would like to take you a little bit in the past, because it's very important for the audience to understand how and why this school was established. In 1984, under the guidance and blessings of Pandit Shri Sharma Acharyaji, the concept of an all-girls boarding school, a seed was planted. Acharyaji perhaps wanted a school which will empower young ladies, girls, and groom them, because he perhaps could see that vision where after a decade or maybe a couple of decades, children would be combating the social media pressure and would be combating the mental chaos of a digital world. He wanted the girls to be empowered with the knowledge of the entire globe, whereas he also encouraged all the facilitators and the guardians of the school to ensure that the girls are anchored, rooted into the very deep Indian culture and heritage. With that thought, the school was incepted. And even after more than 4 decades of running this beautiful institution, we have kept the ideology and philosophy very, very strong. The school is primarily based on the ethos of Gayatri mantra, and we have our entire schedule and curriculum revolving around the power of our Vedic mantras and heritage.
What a beautiful vision, ma'am. So, ma'am, spirituality can often feel abstract. How do you translate these values into tangible practices within the school environment, particularly in a student's daily routine?
So you see, spirituality at MIS is not something which is a document. It is our life. It is our internal GPS. It is the guiding philosophy which helps us keep everything in action. So you would see spirituality in action, whether it is the morning conditioning, to morning Vedic chanting, to our classrooms, to our weekly Havans, to everything that the children do, they live spirituality. From morning, when we wake up children, we start with the Prajwalan, Vedic chanting. We want their biological clock to align with nature. And the moment they wake up and enter into a schedule, everything that revolves around their daily actions keeps them very well balanced. We encourage them to introspect through different activities. After the morning prayer and a very healthy, balanced vegetarian diet, they enter the academic block with a very calm, peaceful demeanor. They interact with open mind with their facilitators and gurus. Throughout the day, whatever they learn, they are not just learning to pass an exam. They are learning to lead a life which has a meaning, which has a purpose. More than anything, at MIS, we encourage children to be good human beings, because ultimately, no matter how advanced we go in the AI world, we are humans. And AI can replace everything, but not the human spirit. And that is something which we encourage children to perform. When they go out in the morning, they also do a lot of deep breathing, pranayama, yoga, meditation. We have intervals between two lessons. That is also a time of peaceful observation where these observations help them to remain very calm and ask introspective, reflective questions. MIS is a multiple curricula school. We have Indian as well as international curriculum. So we want our children to be very reflective on their practices. In the evening sports, after they go to the dormitories, and before they retire for the day, they do a lot of self-journaling. They write how the day was. They have to introspect, reflect on the day, and plan what they wish to aspire for a better, meaningful, and purposeful life.
Great. That's lovely, really. So, ma'am, how are teachers and staff trained or encouraged to embody and transmit these spiritual values beyond just formal instructions?
I think everybody, right from the guard who stands at the gate to the principal of the school, we are very well aligned to Pandit Shri Sharma Acharyaji's ideology and the power of Gayatri mantra. We have a very well-structured orientation for all our new family members, whether it is teachers or students. Now, during the orientation program, we help them understand what are the strong pillars on which this school is standing. Because no matter how advanced we go ahead in time, we always reflect and look back on the starting point. What was the purpose with which MIS was established? And we never lose that purpose. We always keep looking back, and that is something which I think even after 4 decades, the school can very proudly say that it is still very well balanced and well cultured. So like I said, we have a very systematic orientation program, and we do take the staff to Haridwar, where to our founders venue and Shanti Kunj, and there also we train and groom them how to perform Havan, what are the chants which are incorporated into our daily routines, and the philosophy and ideology. So, every time a new member joins, and all of us at the school, we handhold the new teachers and the students so that they can live that culture.
Such a positive thing to do in school. Lovely. So, in a results-driven world, how do you assess or observe the impact of a spiritual education on a student's emotional resilience, decision making, and sense of purpose?
Very important aspects, and I feel that emotional resilience is something which is now becoming the key word for all parents of young children, and especially girls. When I was a child, I think we were absolutely rough and tough, and we never heard these words. But in today's time, when I look back and I see how children are today, they're very fragile, very delicate, emotionally little sensitive. I think the reason for all our activities, the way we align, is to not make these children so delicate and fragile that they break at one small trauma or incident or happening. Like I said, everything is in our actions. We believe a lot in our karma yoga. And for that, we are deliberately making girls very resilient, emotionally stable, balanced, and strong. Because bouncing back from a happening or an incident or a trauma is something which will not come naturally at times. It's a skill which needs to be learned. And that is one area where we really work upon, because it's an all-girls boarding school. And like I said, women empowerment, girl empowerment is something which is very close to our heart. While we look at our curriculum as a passport to get into big universities and colleges and whatever the girls wish to acquire and achieve in life, we also want them to understand the anchor which is going to give them a stability. Because nowadays, it's very common that children will go abroad, they will study, they should. They should travel, they should see the world, they should explore. But at the same time, they should know where home is. And for that, this anchor is very important. So we not only make them emotionally resilient, we also encourage them to find the purpose of their life, the purpose why they are at MIS, and to find and place that anchor. Because for me, every child who passes out from my school should come back home and give back what they have taken from the society. We encourage children to experiment. We encourage children to research so that they can explore different avenues for their growth. But at the same time, I encourage them to collaborate with the community and give back. So we do a lot of community outreach programs, and children delve deep into areas where they can contribute. At the same time, I think respecting elders, being courteous to their parents, being warm to their siblings, and having a very, very good relationship with their peers without expectation. Because that is also one thing which is very important nowadays. Children should not expect anything from anybody, because expectations make you weak and they lead you to disappointment. So selfless work, seva bhav, is another thing which girls at MIS are encouraged to learn. I think these are few things other than the curriculum requirements and preparing them for their assessments and board examinations. We encourage these skills to be part of their personality.
That's amazing, ma'am. So at the end, I would just like to ask you, like as a teacher, what would be your, what would you like to say or your message to the current generation?
Oh, that is very difficult to sum up in a very short duration, because I can go on and on and on with the very fact that, yes, as a teacher, I have a lot of, aspirations from my students, because over a period of more than 25 years that I've spent working with children, I have seen that they are absolutely like blank slates, and you can write so much for them, with them, for their bright future, that it's an endless journey and a story. But if I have to say something to the current generation, it would be that please do not get lost. The social media matrix and the expectations of the society and the glamour of this digital world puts so much of pressure on their tiny shoulders that they are crumbling. And I feel very saddened to see the pressure and weight which is making them so, they are crumbling down that weight. I really hope to lead a generation of students which do not worry what the world is thinking about them, which only focuses on themselves and what they want to achieve in life, without bothering about who's watching and who's labeling and who's judging me. That should not be the criteria. You should feel very happy and satisfied with what you are becoming. Keep your benchmarks very simple, and I think you are your best benchmark. Keep on working towards your own improvement rather than doing things for somebody else. Like I said in the previous question also, that children should come back to the anchor, which is home, which is Bharat, which is India. And I want our generation, because India is a land with maximum percentage of youth population. This young population is the one which is going to drive this world. And right now, today, in fact, since COVID till date, the world is looking at India for innovations, for growth, for every and any kind of work. So these are good pointers, and these are indicators that we are doing extremely well. And this is the time children should feel absolutely proud of their heritage, their culture, and they should feel very proud of being an Indian. And work for your country, make your country proud, make your parents proud, and lead a very healthy and happy life. I think everything that we do, the end result of it should be inner satisfaction, inner peace, and inner happiness. Talk to yourself, find out how you are going, find out what you are good at, and just drive towards that vision which you will create for yourself without getting glamoured by what is expected of the societal demands of today. That is something, if they can do and achieve this, they'll be extremely happy. And happy students and a happy generation is what, at the moment, we can really look forward to.
That's great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shaluji, for giving us time and telling us about your school. I think it will be very useful to our
Thank you so
audience.
much. And one final request to the audience, if they can do, our Vedic mantras have got tremendous power. And I have seen that power, that vibrational energy in my school when we collectively chant the Vedic mantras. And every child should follow a few mantras that will keep you very calm and balanced. And keep meditating. Meditation is magic. It works. I have seen it work beautifully with children. And if my girls can do it at MIS, so can you. All the very best. Wishing you a very happy and healthy future and a life ahead. Namaste.
Namaste.